Hello, everybody. Let's now move forward with the next topic, which is on the PVT relations. So, as mentioned in the previous lecture, we can relate the pressure, volume, temperature in using equations of states. For example, we have the equation of state for an ideal gas PV equal to nRT. N is the number of moles. And therefore, we can solve either the pressure, volume, and or the temperature as a function of the two or other variables, just like shown on the slide. But what are the assumptions for an ideal gas state? The first one is that the intermolecular forces of attraction is extremely small and negligible. And the next one is that the volume occupied by the molecules themselves is negligible compared to the total volume. Okay, so we can assume ideal gas if as the temperature approaches infinity while the pressure approaches zero. So this is the ideal gas equation where P should be the absolute pressure and T is the absolute temperature. Now we move on to the property of an ideal gas. For an ideal gas, the internal energy is just a function of temperature, and the enthalpy is just a function of temperature. And why is that? Okay, so a perfectly good explanation can be discussed by Smith and Vanis, our reference. So in reality, well, for a real gas, what I mean is for a real gas, internal energy it depends on both pressure and temperature. But pressure dependence results from intermolecular forces. So in ideal gases, we assume intermolecular forces do not exist or are negligible, and therefore there's no energy required to break or alter or form the intermolecular forces, and no energy would be required to bring pressure and volume changes at a constant temperature, and therefore without intermolecular forces, the internal energy would depend on temperature only, and the same explanation is true for the enthalpy. Okay, so that's why for an ideal gas, um, U uh, is just a function of T, H is a function of T, and there's another equation here, the difference between Cp and Cv is equal to R. So the derivation of that is in the book. Okay, it's right here. Okay, I would leave it up to you to check out how that equation was derived, wherein the difference between Cp and Cv equal to R. Okay, so please check out the book, or you may screenshot this video or portion of the uh, excerpt from the book. Okay, and then um, so with that, okay, for an ideal gas, by the way, the Ig here, sa superscript Ig would refer to an ideal gas. Okay, so for Smith, from the book from Smith and Vanes, we can also express delta U as CVDT and delta H as CPDT. Okay, so now we move on to the equation of process calculation for ideal gas for mechanically reversible non-flow systems. So non-flow or closed systems. So we begin with the non-flow process and energy equation. Okay. For but for our work, okay, for work, it's negative PdV for a mechanical reversible process. And then recall that for an ideal gas, Du is CVDT. U is just a function of temperature, okay? And therefore we replace um, the two back into our energy balance equation. Okay, and then isolate Q on one side. Next, we apply, so based on this equation, we apply the ideal gas equation, and we're able to derive the following equations. Okay, so these would be useful in the next slide, wherein we um, discuss special cases of or special processes. The first one is still an ideal gas mechanically reversible non-flow or closed system. We discuss an isothermal process. So what does it mean? A process happening at constant temperature. Obviously, since, oops, okay, what happened? Okay, let's continue. Uh, since U and H are dependent on temperature alone, okay, therefore delta U and delta H for an isothermal process wherein there's no change in temperature is zero. Okay, and then therefore Q is just the negative of W, okay? Um, based on the energy balance, delta is zero, and we can use uh, our equations, okay, from the previous slide to derive an equation for Q, okay? So for example, we use this one, dt is zero, and then integrate. We can derive uh, this equation, or we can also derive this equation right there, right? So these are all derived from the previous equations. Next, if we have still an ideal gas mechanical reversible non-flow process, but this time isobaric. What do we mean? The process happens at constant pressure. Okay? So for an ideal gas delta HCCP dt, since it's a constant pressure process from the previous lecture, we said that for constant pressure, delta H equal to Q, and that is equal to the integral of Cp dt. For an ideal gas, delta U is the integral of Cv dt. And for work is just the difference. So from the energy balance is the difference between delta U and Q. Okay, so you can solve work from uh, delta U and Q from the previous equations. Next, we have still ideal gas mechanical reversible non-flow isochoric, which refers to a process undergoing constant volume. Because the volume is constant, negative PDV is zero, so work is zero. Still for an ideal gas. So this time around, based from our previous lecture for an constant volume process, delta U, this time equal to Q equal to the integral of CVDT, and delta H is the integral of CPDT. So it's important that you remember our previous lecture, topic 2. The next process is an adiabatic process. So remember, an adiabatic process is where Q, okay, there's no delta. Q is zero. Okay. Still ideal gas mechanical reversible closed system process. So if Q is zero, from the energy balance, delta U is equal to W, and since this is an ideal gas, delta U is CVDT. For an ideal gas, delta H is CPDT. Now, if we have an adiabatic process that uh, where we can assume that the heat capacities are constant, then we can derive more equations. So by the way, if the process is both reversible and adiabatic, that is equivalent to an isentropic process. And what do we mean by isentropic process? There's no change in the entropy of the process. So take note of that. You will be encountering that in the next lectures and even in SHA 143. So we begin with this equation. Okay. So again, that equation is from here. Okay. Since there's no heat transfer, it's an adiabatic process. This term dq is 0. So we transfer um, RT dV over V, which is equal to negative PdV, right? So RT over V is pressure, right? So we transfer this term to the left-hand side equation that negates it. And then we use the equation of state for an ideal gas to derive, okay, the next equations. Okay, so simply integrating both sides of the equation, you will get uh, this equation for temperature and volume, and you can also derive the other proper relationships using the equation of the ideal gas. Okay. Now we define gamma as the ratio between Cp and Cv. So Cp is the constant pressure heat capacity, Cv is the constant volume heat capacity. With that, based on these equations, we can say that uh, Tv raised to gamma minus 1 is constant, Tp raised to gamma 1 minus gamma over gamma is constant, Tv raised to gamma is constant. So I will leave it up to you to derive that from this equation right here, these equations right here. Okay. So next we derive an equation for the work for an adiabatic constant heat capacity process. So work is CV delta T, and in terms of R and gamma, okay, so this is from this one, wait, from the definition, okay, and also because the difference of CP and CV is R. So we end up with this equation. So the details of the derivation, um, I will not, okay, detail on that. I will leave it up to you. Okay, so the details of the derivation can be found on our reference material, Smith and Vanes. Okay, so this is the work, and it's only applicable, take note, this equation is valid only for an ideal gas state, constant heat capacity, adiabatic mechanical reversible ghost system process. You can use this if these are all true. Okay. Next, so gamma can now take on different values depending on the type of the atom. If it's monoatomic, one atom, diatomic, or polyatomic. So for monoatomic gas, gamma is 1.67. For diatomic is 1.4, and for triatomic or polyatomic it's 1.3. Okay. Lastly, we have a polytropic process. So this one is like a generalized, gives us the generalized form of the different types of processes. So for a uh, changed polytropic process is a change that a gas undergoes under most general conditions characterized by this equation. So it's similar with the equations derived for the adiabatic constant heat capacity, except that the gamma is replaced by delta. Okay, so delta. Where delta is the polytropic index and C is a constant. Okay, so what happens here is that if we have a PV diagram, the paths would depend on the value of delta. So paths of polytropic process characterized by the value of delta. If delta is 0, that would mean an isobaric process. So this is a straight horizontal line happening at a constant temperature. So that would give us delta equal to 0. So substitute delta into this equation, you will get the equations for the isobaric process. And you can do the same for the other processes. Isothermal is equal to 1. Substitute it, you will get equations for the isothermal. Adiabatic, delta is just equal to gamma. And for isochoric, it's a horizontal line. Um, delta is equal to infinity. So we can also generalize the work for the polytropic process. We have two equations right here. If the delta is not equal to 0 and if delta is equal to 1, then we have equations that we can use to compute for work. Okay, so again, this table right here would tell you the value of delta for the different types of the processes. Okay, so now let's move on to the example. Or I'll just end the video here and continue with the problem solving in the next video.